shows the same on your guys' screen, but it shows left to right. I'm just going to read them off. And first up, we have myself versus Dustin. Obviously, I'm going to win the game because I have the best team. And Mr. Riggs, why don't you tell me why?
Well, I'm looking at the two teams right now. I think this is gonna be a close one this week. Dustin may want to check on Thomas Rawls' status because he's still unsure if he's gonna be the starter week 1. But I'm sure he can just find someone on his bench to plug him with. But when the teams are deadlocked, basically, I usually look at who has the better quarterback. And I mean, you have Aaron Rodgers, who arguably is the best fantasy quarterback in our league. So I would say you are probably going to get the W this week if I had to put some money.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with that based on the running backs as well. That and I mean Rawls. Yeah, I was reading up on Rawls, and he was actually going to be my second overall pick.
Dad,
But
guess what? I never had to
basically, they're saying that he's going to be splitting carries with Christine Michaels. So I'm not so sure how that'll actually work out. But yeah, I mean when they play Rawls the whole game, like dude's a stud. But yeah, I mean Julio Jones, Steve Smith. Yeah, I think he'll get this one. I think it'll be close though.
Okay. James?
It's between you and Dustin.
Yep.
What are the? We've got 172 to 189, so it's pretty close as far as projected points.
Mm-hmm.
It's close. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too close to really feel great about calling anything on it. But
The thing is, Stewart's got a tough matchup against Denver, but then again, Landry's got a tough matchup against Seattle. You know what? Josh has got New England's kicker, Ghost. Gostkowski is going to be the deciding factor on Sunday Night Football. And
Beautiful.
He's going to barely edge out Dustin by about a point and a half.
Nice. So we are unanimous. I'm gonna
it'll
go.
be very, very close, though. I mean, if Rawls comes out and balls and Julio does what Julio does, man, it's going to be tough. And Big Ben is capable of putting up just as many fantasy points as A-Rod. So.
Well, the way things are is Ben Roethlisberger will have an opportunity to win it for Dustin because he plays on Monday Night Football, and Josh doesn't have anyone going on Monday night. So it's going to come down to Monday before we really even know.
Hey, and the ironic thing is, same situation happened between me and Josh last year, where he was ahead by I want to say right at 100 points,
Yep.
and I had Julio Jones and I had Tony Romo on Sunday Night Football and then Monday Night Julio, and he thought he won, and then Tony Romo went off last year against the Saints and completely erased his 100-point lead. And I was
Yep.
down. Be interesting if history repeats itself.
Those are the worst. When you've got nobody left and they still got their quarterback, that makes you sweat the most.
It's going to be really close between kickers and defense, and I mean, I'm looking right now. He's got a starting linebacker in his roster that's suspended, so I don't know. I'm sure he'll change that by then. But if Rawls doesn't play, yeah, I don't trust Stewart as far as fantasy goes. I mean, he's solid, but he's
going up against Denver's defense.
Yeah, so I just based on the matchups,
So unanimously, I sweat my ass off Monday night, but I walk away with a W.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
All right, let's move on to the next matchup. We got Mr. Nelson himself versus the one and only Hayden.
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Point spreads got me getting blown out. I still think I win it, man. I don't really give a damn what that thing says.
Oh, yeah.
Antonio Brown. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's my main concern. AJ Green's never as good as he's expected.
I don't know if you know this, Nelson. You have a kicker projected to go -1 points.
Well, that's cool. I mean,
I love it.
no, I didn't notice that, but he can be dropped.
And you need to fill a defensive line slot. But besides that,
I do know that. I'll be honest, man. I was working on a trade with somebody that was going to free up that one spot because once I got the acquired player, I felt comfortable dropping another guy. But the dude flaked on me, so yeah, I'll have that fixed by Thursday.
These hoes ain't loyal.
and a rookie quarterback going into week 1 of fantasy football with a rookie quarterback.
That's fucking.
Asian kid with the analysis breakdown. Yeah, how do you feel about that? You got
I
a
feel
rookie
pretty good.
quarterback.
Against
Really?
the Giants defense, I feel pretty good.
That 31st ranked last year. That's a valid point.
And Prescott did, he shined in the preseason. It's preseason football, but still.
Really good for.
Right.
But he's standing behind one of the best offenses. I think I could throw a pass behind there.
Right.
I mean, they're going to run first. I don't,
break it down. You said you're worried about Antonio. AJ, you're not really sweating.
I'm worried about him starting DeMarco Murray.
Nah.
Why is that?
Well,
He's got no faith in DeMarco.
I had DeMarco Murray last year, and he didn't treat me well. Also, DeMarco's playing for the Tennessee Titans, so they're going to be down the whole game regardless, so they're going to need to throw the football. So, I don't know. I would start Arian.
All I'm saying, dude showed his ass. He's hungry, man. I mean, you can say what you want about last year, but he split time between 3 fucking backs. I mean, that's not really a fair analysis.
That's fair. Well, I'm gonna.
You can take any running back in the NFL. You can take AP, whoever you think is the best. You split the load between 3 guys, and Chip Kelly's a fucking moron. I thought most people would figure that out by now, but since we're going to analytically digest and if you look, DeMarco Murray outside of that year has always been pretty sound. He had a great preseason, so I'm just saying.
He's got Lamar Miller to offset the dice roll with DeMarco. I mean, Lamar Miller's supposed to be that guy in Houston. He's supposed to be a top 5 fantasy running back. I mean, so.
That's fair. Well,
I think this matchup's going to be a lot closer than people think. I think the projections got Hayden winning by 100 points. I think it's going to be a lot closer than that.
Yeah, it has Hayden winning by 60 something points, but I'm gonna say Hayden takes this, and yeah, I mean
that doesn't surprise me, but I don't see how you're going to call out DeMarco Murray and not mention a thing about fucking 50-year-old Frank.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking at it.
The thing about Frank is he's consistent.
He's consistently bad. I agree with that.
Serious? They're a passing team. His running game is suspect. Hayden's run his.
Yeah, it looks bad.
If he sticks with Matt Forte, who's now 30 years or 29 or 30 years old, who's coming off an injury season, and he's in a new system.
Yep.
And they and he's got Matt Forte. His receivers are legit, but to offset that,
I'm just gonna throw it out there, man. He's gonna learn the hard way. AJ Green is not the guy in fantasy everybody wants him to be. He's gonna learn the hard way.
You know what?
I had last year.
I feel like that's going to be the deciding factor too, in this match.
I think I'm going to come down to Monday night again.
And he's playing at the Jets, man.
He started out 7-1 last year, 8-0, and then he had a couple injuries go down to receivers, and he had no backed up. This year, I feel like if either one of his 30-year-old running backs go down, he's got their handcuffs, but One's a rookie, so the other one, Plow. I mean, the Jets like him, but he's not going to be a bonus hitter. So I feel like Hayden needs to will and deal and get another running back. He picked up Justin Forsett, which was pretty savvy, but it's come out that they're going to be a running back by committee anyways. They've got Justin Forsett, Jarvis Allen, whatever his name is, some guy named Allen. They've got West, who a lot of people said was looking good in preseason. And then they've got the rookie they drafted, I think, in the 3rd round, in Kenneth Dixon. So, if my advice to Hayden is he needs to will and deal for another running back because I know the new fantasy trend is receivers, but you gotta have at least one studded running back in our league to win. Really, you need two, but at least need to have one. And I don't feel like he's got a stud on his team. But that's fine. Everybody like Sean can go ahead and crown him the champ like they always do.
I'm not crowning the champ. I'm just crowning him the champ of this first week. I'm just saying.
I think it's going to be a lot closer, and we'll go with Nelson pulling the upset.
Okay, bold.
How you like him out?
I like it. I'm with Jamie. I think I'm going to upset him. I think Andrew Luck's going to have another mediocre year.
Let's talk about Amari Cooper going up against the Saints defense. He just cut their best cornerback, Keenan Lewis. He's going for $150. Mark, write it down. Nelson's pulling the upset.
Okay.
It's going to depend on Dak. If Dak plays well, yeah, I think I got it.
Josh, what do you think?
I'm actually rolling with Nelson picking up the upset. Yeah.
Whoa.
Because I agree. You know, I think Luck's gonna have another mediocre year. Forte, old back in a new system. He can flash, but I don't think he's gonna be the same. Gore is just too old, regardless of where the fuck he is now.
Well, you look at the predictions. I'm starting to realize these predictions are retarded. They have Lamar Miller projected to get 14 points and Frank Gore 21.
Oh yeah, no, their predictions are always stupid.
Yeah, so that's
all right.
Like I said, Antonio Brown is the guy to watch out for.
Right.
And he plays on Monday. So maybe me and you can get together and hold hands on Monday night.
I feel like Amari going up against the Saints offsets that though. Like Amari, you should pencil him in for at least 100 yards.
I'm just saying, me and Barlow can get together Monday night, hold hands, pray that Big Ben goes down so we can secure
that would be beautiful. We'll shoot a live fantasy talk. All right, the next matchup we have the Curse versus Barnaby.
What teams are those?
That's Omar Cummin and Taco Core.
Taco Core. All right.
Let's see. The points are 151 to 213, so it's Barnaby is heavily favored by about.
Dude, Barnaby's gonna crush him. Well, I didn't. Hold on. He's got Dez.
Well, the problem is he's got Matt Jones, who's injured right now, and he's fumbles, and they're already saying the kid I picked up, who was an undrafted rookie, is going to be the starter, whether it's this week or in a few weeks, just because he's just outplayed him in training camp. So
I'm sorry, man. If anybody gets it, I hope Keith Marshall does, but that's just a side note.
He's injured. He's supposed to be on IR here. So, yeah, he's got a bum in Matt Jones at running back. Cobb and Bryant are nice. Josh Brown's nice. His receiving core is nice. He's got Martin, so that's one good running back, but he's got a bum at RB2. He's got Cousins. That's going to be a wild card. Gates is pretty solid. He's got Gio. I think it's going to come down to how well Cousins performs and how well Gio does, splitting time with Jeremy Hill against the Jets. With that being said,
DeAndre and Robinson, Jesus.
Williams, Carlos Hyde, but I think Carlos Hyde is actually banged up. But he's got Carson Palmer, but it's against
and they're playing the Rams. So and it's Chip Kelly. So.
Well, Sean's actually missing a defensive lineman and a defensive back. So going on that, I got to roll with Barnaby. I don't think it's going to be that big of a margin. Like I think he's favored by 80.
60-ish points.
Yeah, 63 points or something. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a victory, but I think Barnaby wins by like 20 or 30.
I think
it's
it
gonna be
actually.
hard to say. It really depends on if Cousins performs well, and then he might it's gonna be close,
I think
closer than a blowout. I mean, I'm a little concerned about Rashad Jennings there. I could have helped you with that, Barnaby, but no.
I
Whoa,
think
whoa! What do you mean you could help? What do you mean by that?
We had a trade worked out, but he flaked on me. So
The laundry is getting aired out, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so we're looking at. I kind of feel like Barnaby is gonna take it by a blowout. I feel like Palmer's gonna have a big game.
he's gonna have to.
D'Angelo Williams is probably gonna have a big game. DeAndre Hopkins.
He's gonna have a monster game.
Yeah, those. They're gonna have good games. All of those guys. And
And Corey
then
Goldman is quite possibly gonna have a
I
good
think
game.
Hopkins should have a field day against Chicago.
Yeah, and Allen Robinson, they're gonna have to throw the ball to stay in it with Green Bay.
However, not sleep on. Let me throw another bold prediction. New England will have a top 5 defense this year. So
Oh, I agree.
oh, okay.
I think Palmer's just going to light it up on us. He'll be good, but I don't.
Well, he's gonna have to win it for him. That's
He'll win it. I don't think he's going to throw for 500. I don't think he's just going to.
He's gonna get the attempts in though. Which
There's going to be a lot of incompletes. But,
okay.
yeah, I'm with you, Josh. Barnaby.
I do feel like the defense for Sean is better on a wider note.
Yeah, but that adds up to what,
The
like an
ones that he
extra
has.
20 points or so?
Got 2 guys sitting out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about
Just throwing it out there, DB. I lost several games last year by like 1 or 2 points.
That's
It
true.
comes down to that.
That's
it comes
true.
down to a damn player.
Yeah,
I learned
lost
that the
like
hard way
three-
last year, too.
3 games of mine were determined by less than 5 points. So defense definitely matters. Your kickers do matter. But I still don't. Like I said, DeAndre Hopkins, yeah, he's gonna. Barnaby's got one of the better teams this year. I feel like.
Okay, so to get the record straight, James.
Barnaby, but I don't think it's going to be an all-out blowout. I think he'll win comfortably, but it won't be by like it's predicted.
See, I actually Sean is gonna win this week,
wow.
and I think it's gonna come down to Carson Palmer in Sunday night versus New England. If Carson Palmer has a good game, then I believe that Barnaby will win. However, I think he will not have a good game, and Sean will win.
So who are you throwing all the points to on Sean's team?
I just think his team, I mean, he's going to obviously plug these holes. He does that. He's not stupid. But I think his team is going to be consistent enough, and I think he will beat Barnaby.
Okay.
Barely or
I
comfortably?
I think it will be barely, but I think he will win. I just I don't trust Carlos Hyde versus the Rams, and I don't trust D'Angelo Williams versus Washington. I mean,
Okay, hold on. At least say something to back that up. Like, you don't trust D'Angelo against Washington? What reason is that?
my reasoning for D'Angelo Williams versus Washington, I mean, I think he's a good player, but I don't think it's enough to offset Doug Martin versus Atlanta. Also, with Carlos Hyde in San Francisco, I think he's a bum, and I mean,
Whoa, Carlos Hyde is not a
Don't
fan.
about Matt Jones, who's actually injured right now. So that's kind of they've got 2 bums going, and I think Carlos Hyde's actually banged up too.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if you had to compare the running backs, I think Sean's running backs, even though he has one that's quote unquote injured, I think Doug Martin's gonna have a great.
I honestly think D'Angelo offsets Doug Martin. I'm not a big Panthers fan, but being in the NFC South long enough to watch D'Angelo Williams is if he can stay healthy, man, he is
He is
he's a
good.
great
Well,
running back.
last year,
He's
man,
really good.
down the stretch last year. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean, dude is by far, like, when he was in the NFC South, he was the most underrated back in our division.
He's also in his mid-30s now. So
Yeah, he's pretty old too. And Matt Jones did return to practice today, and they expected him to be in full contact on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. So
he also has fumbling problems, and within 2 or 3 weeks, Rob Kelly will be the starting running back for the Washington Redskins. If you guys are in any other league, scoop him up while you have the chance.
well, I'm just saying for week 1. So that's my reasoning for Sean. I don't want to get too hung up on it. Let's go to the next one.
All right. And Josh, you're Barnaby too, right?
Yep, we're rolling 3-1 for Barnaby this week.
Okay.
All right, next matchup we have Idiots versus the Rome Wolves.
By idiots, are you referring to Will's team?
I am absolutely referring to you guys are all idiots.
Yeah.
And
look at Will pulling a me, not putting his roster. He's trying to be the goat over
he
here.
doesn't even know who he's going to start yet.
So you're saying there's no like
there's no trick here. He just doesn't know.
I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. Will's nice at the top, but I don't see one receiver on his roster.
Let's figure out who he's going to
scares
start
me.
back and quarterback and tight end. I mean, that's pretty easy. The question is receivers.
Yeah, his receivers are sketchy as hell.
That's why I think the big Creamster's going to win this week.
Nice.
Cream's
Killer
got
Cream.
Cam Thursday night, but it's against Denver. He's got Ezekiel Elliott. He's got Langford against Houston. That's a tough matchup. He's got Sanu at Tampa. He's got Mike Evans at Atlanta. He's got Stephon Diggs at Tennessee. He's got Kobe Fleener, who is supposed to be
The guy.
Yeah, well, he's been looking sketchy.
Really?
Yeah.
Nobody looks as sketchy as Austin Hooper. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there to you. If you're worried about your tight end, you should watch Austin Hooper.
X factor. If it comes down to an X factor, have to mention Chad, even though he's not in the league this year. Kramer pulled a Chad and he took J.J. Watt early. He could come down to J.J. Watt.
I'm just throwing this out there, though. Will does have Gronk.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. He also pulled a Chad.
He's got TG3.
Yeah, it's the battle of Chad's roster right here.
Yeah.
Gronk versus JJ. I mean, what are the so 152 is the projected point total for Kramer, and so 25 and 24 for Breeze or Stafford. We'll just take his top 3 highest receivers.
Will's looking right around 150-ish.
So it's supposed to be really close.
I think it's going to be close, but I think Creamer wins because Will does a last-minute judgment call, and he ends up starting Matt Stafford instead of Drew Brees, and it cost him the game.
Oh, my God. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and nix that. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, that would be so idiotic, but of course we're the idiots, so trying to predict anything is, yeah. Obviously we don't think with the same logic that Will does, so yeah, if he does start Stafford, I agree, but if he starts Breeze, I mean, you can't like the Cam Newton matchup right there. Langford is that's not something anybody. But I do like Ezekiel Elliott. I like Mohamed Sanu, Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs. We'll see. Kobe Fleener. It'll be close.
I wanted to ask Josh. You're actually, as a Saints fan, you're actually selling the. You're not buying, but you're selling the hype on Kobe Fleener, because on all the fantasy rankings, they've got Fleener as like a top 6 tight end.
Oh yeah. Throughout the preseason training camp, what they've been saying is that he's just having trouble learning the new system. So they're not really building that rapport between him and Breeze. So he's likely going to get the nod for the start just because there's nobody else. I mean, we got Josh Hill, but who the fuck is Josh Hill?
Right.
So yeah, no, Fleener's he's gonna be out there, but whether that develops throughout the season and he actually starts to pick up on it remains to be seen.
Good to know.
Yep.
I'm gonna predict a tie. This game is gonna tie.
That's
I've
bold.
got Will taking it.
I'm gonna predict a tie because that would piss Will off more than anything that he tied with Kramer. Like Will would probably quit the league.
But if anything were to trigger a giant trade go down, it would be Will losing week 1 to Creamer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cream's a pretty good team though, man. I mean, if Langford turns out to be that guy, because he
ain't gonna be that guy against Houston, man.
Got Elliott. That's true, but I'm just saying, yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying, long term. I mean, Cream's got a, Canu's the number 2. He's got Evans. He's got Diggs, whose fantasy value's back up because I got Bradford. If Fleener does build some rapport with Breeze down the stretch, I mean, Kramer's got a Robert.
And I'm gonna tell y'all now too. Sanu's getting more targets than people would expect from Matt Ryan. They've seemed to come right in, and Sanu seems to fit in pretty good with our system. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Sanu's not. I mean, he's not as good as having some of the number 1s, but for number 2, I would definitely take him. Kramer, hit me up if you want to get rid of Sanu. But yeah, I still think with Breeze, I've got to give the nod to Will.
So you got Will, you got Ty, Josh.
I'm actually gonna be rolling with you guys are all idiots too. Specifically because of Breeze, Gronkowski. I think Jeremy Hill's gonna be the man in Cincinnati. Maybe not week 1. Maybe they split it a little more week 1, but that's still there. Mike Wallace, he has the potential to be one of those boomer bust guys.
Come back to earth, Josh.
That's my point though, is that he runs downfield and catches bombs, and that's all he does. So if he catches one, that's 40 yards.
Josh isn't the only one saying that either. I actually was there was an article, a couple articles I read on NFL.com that if Mike Wallace and there was another receiver, that they're available in a lot of leagues. Like you may want to scoop them up just for that boomer bust.
He does have that, but I think at the end of the day, he has more 1-point games than he does bonus hitting games.
Having to play him on a bye week or the right week when he goes off.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Play him the right week. I mean, but I'm basing it off of Breeze, Gronk, Gurley. I mean, and if Cam Newton was playing anywhere, Denver, that's Ezekiel Elliott's it's gonna be close, man. I mean, I haven't seen one that's just looks like a massive blowout yet.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it'll be close too.
And
hey, kid, you're going with Cream?
Yeah, I'm going with Cream.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that either. I mean, if Cam goes off, it's gonna be real close. I don't see anybody on that roster that can fuck with Todd Gurley either, though.
Right.
Or wrong. I mean, if
Elliott going up against the Giants' 31st ranked defense, and they're not going to have Dak to throw the ball 40 times. I mean, I think Elliott could hit a bonus easily.
Yeah.
That's true
I
too.
think Mike Evans should on paper have a good game against Atlanta. Atlanta still has yet to find a pass.
I've got it a tie. I've got it coming down to a tie. It should be close no matter what happens.
All right, next matchup.
Yep. So we had that one 2-1 with one tie.
Right. You and Nelson going Will. Matt going Cream, and me saying the tie.
All right. We'll move on to 21 Reasons versus Team Taco.